Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And I am pleased to say that the personal emergency I've been dealing with for months is finally resolved. And I can not only get back to living my life, I can also get back to making videos.
And yet, oh dread one, look at what happened. You take a few days away from your post to deal with real-life nonsense, Kennedy gets renewed? WTF!
The timing was cunning, Harvey. A lot of trolls were giving me crap on Twitter, I hear. I didn't actually read any of their tweets, I ignore them. They were mocking me for Kennedy getting renewed, which is really funny because they were mocking me for being right. I've been talking about rumors of Kennedy's renewal for over 2 months now. The moment I got a rumor from a credible source that she was getting renewed, I duly reported it. So just like with my Indiana Jones 5 reporting, which was also months ahead of the mainstream media breaking on that story, hashtag Doomcock was right for months ahead of the announcement.
So the trolls were mocking you for being right?
Indeed, Harvey, albeit unknowingly. I broke the news of Kennedy's possible renewal over 2 months ago on my Friday Night Frolic show. Midnight's Edge reported it from another source, Mikey Sutton, even before that. But I don't know, Mikey, and I remained skeptical until WDW Pro provided me with reporting I found credible, at which point I reported it. I have some news straight from WDW Pro about what's going on behind the scenes that I will share with you all in a few minutes. But the point is, these idiot trolls attacking me claiming I was wrong about Kennedy didn't know I had reported this months ago because they don't actually watch my videos. They just lie and attack, and thus they look foolish when they publicly prove that they have no idea what's going on, no idea what I'm about, and no idea what I've actually said. So once again, Doomcock was right, people, though I sure as hell wish I had been wrong on this one.
So when you were away from Xanadu dealing with some pressing concerns on the surface world, that's when Kathleen Kennedy decided to leak the news?
Yes, Harvey. She waited until I had stepped away from the watchtower and had no way to respond to strike. Or rather, Kennedy waited until I was away to nag her husband into striking for her because no one else was doing it. Disney certainly wasn't, and therein lies the rub. I have some news about Kennedy's super secret renewal, some rumors, and some analysis to share with you all today to try to put this into perspective. As always, what I'm about to present is information provided to me from outside sources who claim to have knowledge of the situation, but since I have no way to confirm this information, I urge you to consider this as unverified rumor and to take it with a grain of salt.
The solution to this conundrum is clear, and I'm going to now introduce my new trademarked phrase, TM. So here it is. Push the button, fire Kennedy, TM. It's that simple. You want Kennedy fired? Want Jar Jar Abrams to stop making movies altogether? Want to stop paying income tax and never go to the dentist again? Push the button, fire Kennedy, TM.
Oh, that's a tempting option, Harvey, but I don't think it'll work. You should amend your catchphrase to be push the button, fire everyone. As in, you will all perish in flames when I get out and the button gets pushed.
Well, we tested that version. It didn't play with the audience.
And thus, you remain contained for the nonce. But apparently, Kennedy isn't contained. The rumor of the week is that Kennedy has been renewed, and yet the circumstances of her renewal are unusual, to say the least. Here are the main points of my analysis, and then I'm going to report what some of my sources are saying about this renewal. The first red flag is this. Why was Kennedy's contract quietly signed without any fanfare? Why did they delay or cancel all of Kennedy's projects prior to this news coming out? And why hasn't the news come out? Oh sure, we got a tweet from Frank Marshall, her husband, announcing that his wife Kathleen has had her contract as president of Lucasfilm renewed for 3 years. But there has been, as of the time of the making of this video, no official announcement from Disney.
Nothing?
Not a damn thing. Smaller publications like Screen Rant and so on have posted articles about Frank Marshall's tweet, taking it at face value and using qualifying language like, "At this time it appears Kennedy's contract is renewed," or "Reportedly her contract has been renewed," things like that. But even these sources can't list it as a fact prior to some kind of official announcement from Disney, which thus far has not come.
Are you saying she's not actually renewed?
No, I'm not saying that. I've been reporting rumors that she was quietly renewed for months now, as I said, so I'm not surprised. Nor am I especially skeptical, even though the circumstances are bizarre, and they're indicative of something very abnormal in this alleged renewal, which at this point still is simply a rumor absent official announcements from Disney. And while Chapek may eventually cave to pressure from KK's camp and finally make some kind of announcement, and I wouldn't be surprised if that announcement comes today, since it's a Friday and they dump bad news on Fridays, the fact that there has been no official press release about this major development speaks volumes about Kennedy's true status at Disney. She may be renewed, Harvey, but she ain't in Disney's good graces, and she ain't got a lot of power.
Dude, what the hell is actually going on?
One source of mine, douchebag Kylo, drew an apt analogy in a message to me saying essentially that Kennedy has been given what the Japanese call a window seat. That's what Japanese companies do when they find a high-level manager is incompetent. To save face, they promote that executive to a position free of power or responsibilities and stash him off in a window office somewhere. That person can just gaze out the window all day and quietly get paid for it.
Kind of like hush money?
Not as the Japanese practice it, Harvey. It's more that the executive is seen as an embarrassment to the company that they do not wish to acknowledge in order to save face, and the incompetent executive also gets to save face and not suffer the shame of termination publicly. This may well be what happened with Kennedy. With all of her and Frank Marshall's extensive old-school Hollywood contacts and contacts in the mainstream media, it seems clear they couldn't completely fire her, despite the fact that the Star Wars franchise under her guidance has never been weaker, with the fandom splintered and abandoning Star Wars right and left. But talking about Frank Marshall, here's the funny thing that no one else seems to be talking about, to my knowledge. Kennedy is all about girl power, right? Girls being the bestest ever. The Force is female and all that shit. Ree! After all, when Finn tries to help Rey up in The Force Awakens, she slaps his hand away. No woman needs anything from a man. How dare he condescend to her? Women stand on their own and need absolutely nothing from any Y-chromosomally challenged individuals with hairy legs. No men are needed to help women, Harvey. And yet, when Kathleen is pissed off that Disney has essentially hidden her renewal out of fear and shame, buried it like a cat buries a turd in the litter box, which is not something the cat would do if it was proud of it, Kathy whines to her hubby to fix it, so he has to tweet it out because wifey is all bent about it.
No woman needs a man until she does. Girl power. Yay.
Frank Marshall has been a successful producer a long time, a lot longer than Kennedy. One wonders where she would be without being married to Frank Marshall. So ironic, given how worthless and loathsome white males are, and yet when push comes to shove, she turns to him to fix it.
Wonder what Rey would say to that. The Force is female until you need a man to help you out.
Wonders never cease, Harvey. At any rate, here's what a number of sources are saying about this contract renewal, which was so secret hardly anyone saw it coming. My friend, WDW Pro, who posts articles over at thatparkplace.com, a great site you ought to check out, sent me this exclusive report a few days ago, and unfortunately, due to my personal emergency, I was unable to share it with you until now. One of the mysteries about this renewal is how her contract could allegedly be extended for 3 years, given that Chapek has had no more long-term contracts for talent. And here's what my source said, quote, according to a trusted source, quote, the last-minute kerfuffle was over Kennedy demanding to be head of Lucasfilm until Indiana Jones 5 ends theatrical run. Indy being delayed means contract had to be extended beyond 1 to 2 years. She allegedly would not accept being dropped to just an executive producer / legacy position. Kennedy remains a figurehead. She controls Indiana Jones, but is now essentially out of Star Wars. Nobody wants the Lucasfilm gig when she leaves because the studio is filled with ideological nuts. That's something to say if Hollywood is conservative in comparison. Rumor: Kennedy is furious that Disney didn't put out a glowing public statement. Wants one out ASAP. Husband is reportedly mad too. Chapek likely to ignore. Kennedy is horrible public perception, but her people negotiated behind the scenes from a position of strength. Nobody wants to run Lucasfilm. There's no Star Wars film on deck. She has media on her side, and she's made inroads with Star Wars in China. It's just awful for Star Wars, and I'm convinced Disney is headed for rough waters. Remember, 0 press release. They know she's poison. Unquote.
Yeah, man. What Disney is doing right now is the slow frog boil. Letting the info get out until people adjust to the shock, then they go ahead and make an official announcement, which is a technique they use with bad news. They know it's terrible, that fans will hate it, but they had to do it because the job is now too toxic and no one wants it, right? So they leak it out, easy, slow chunks, so the frog will boil in peace.
And they have to keep Kennedy quiet, I imagine. Maybe she does have blackmail, or maybe it's simply the stigma of forcing the biggest female exec out of her position in the Pound Me Too era. Who the hell knows? Cameron Pashaw sent me this statement regarding the renewal. Quote, "We are being manipulated by Kennedy right now. I believe the story that she has a, quote, 3-year contract, unquote, was seeded by Kathleen herself in the fan press as she is enraged about the rumors that she has been pushed out, which she absolutely has. She's been given a payoff to keep her mouth shut. That's it. No power. She's lost all of her pet projects. They are just letting her save face by not announcing she is out. I also believe that these stories Kennedy seeded were not authorized by Bob Chapek, who is furious that she is creating new outrage among the fans right now. And I'm sure he's fielding calls from hedge fund managers asking why the fuck she's been renewed in light of the disastrous Q4 results. And so Chapek is responding by attacking her with his own anti-Kennedy leaks in the fan press, especially the story that Patty Jenkins blames Kennedy for Rogue Squadron being derailed. We are in the middle of a PR war, and the fans are being manipulated by both sides." Unquote.
Well, once again, hashtag Doomcock was right, but you were right about bad news. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey, I can't control what happens, Harvey. I can only share what I've heard about it. Hey, I can't control what happens, Harvey. I can only report on it, comment on it, and try to give early warnings when I can. These rumors are the canaries in the coal mine, but I get them right more often than I get them wrong. I'm going to stay on this story as it develops and hope to bring you more reporting on this as more information comes in. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha